Welcome my dear student friends. So in this lecture also we are going to talk about mesh analysis AC circuit. Okay, mesh analysis for AC circuit. Already we have talked about two different examples, right? Now we are going to talk about the third example in which we have single AC source, right? Single AC voltage source and it is consisting of three loops. Okay, so let us say this is nothing but a circuit which is having a voltage source as 20 angle, let us say 0. Is that fine? Okay, so let us assume the current directions as like this. So let us say this is I1, this is I2, and this one is I3. Is that fine? Okay, now let us apply KVL to loop number 1. Applying KVL to loop 1. Okay, great. So the voltage source is nothing but 20 angle 0. It is there for the first loop, right? Then 4I1 plus, okay, from this J4 resistor two currents are flowing, yes, I1 and I2, and they are opposite in directions to each other. So therefore we are applying KVL to loop number 1. So we need to take, or we need to consider I1 is larger as compared to I2. Is that fine? Great. Then let us club the terms of I1. So 4 plus J4 I1. So I'm not going to simplify these steps. I'm going to write it directly. Minus, so this is nothing but multiplied with the bracket. Okay, so minus J4 I2. And this forms your equation number 1. Is that fine? Great. Now let us apply KVL to loop number 2. Okay, applying KVL. Now let us apply over here. Applying KVL to second loop. Is that fine? Great. So over here in this loop there is no voltage source, so we are going to write it 0. Fine. 4 ohm is exclusively in the second loop. Okay, so 4 into I2 plus, now there are two J4 resistors, that is inductors, are there. Okay, is that fine? Okay, let us consider this one first and then we'll go for this one. Okay, so again from this J4 two currents are flowing, and now as we are applying KVL to second loop, so that's why I2 must be larger as compared to I1. And now let us apply, let us find out, do drop across this. So J4 into I2 minus I3. Is it fine? Great. Now simplify this equation again. 0 is equals to, now 4 plus J4 plus J4. How much it will be? It will be 4 plus J8, isn't it? Into I2, right? What will be the I1 term? I1 term is nothing but J4 into minus I1. So therefore it will be minus J4 I1 plus 4 plus J8 I2 and minus J4 I3. So is this your second equation? Yes. Okay. Now applying KVL to loop number 3. Is it fine? Okay, so let us apply it to loop number 3. Okay, so here also there is no voltage source, so therefore let us take a different color. Okay, so 0 is equals to 4I3 plus, now let us consider this J4. So from this J4 also I3 is only flowing, so this J4 into I3 plus And now let us consider this J4. Now we are applying KVL to third loop, so that's why I3 must be larger as compared to I2. Is this okay? Fine. So let us rearrange it then. 0 is equals to, now there is no I1 term in this particular equation, so therefore we shall be starting with I2. So therefore J4 into minus I2, so it is going to result as minus J4 I2. Is it right? Okay. Now let us add all the terms related to I3. So 4 plus J4 and plus J4, right? So therefore it is going to become 4 plus J8 into I3. Am I right? So this is nothing but your equation number 3rd. Is it fine? Very good. Okay. Okay. Now let us convert these three equations in the form of matrices. Okay. So let us convert these equations in the form of matrix. So let us write first left hand sides. Okay. So on left hand side we have all the voltage sources. Okay. So only for the first equation there is a voltage source, that is 20 angle 0. Okay, and rest of others have values as zeros. Right? Okay. And over here, now focus on this first equation. Okay. So on this first equation, I1 term is nothing but 4 plus J4. Is that fine? Okay. What is the I2 term? I2 term is minus J4. Is there any I3 term? Okay. So in this first equation, there is no I3 term. So that's why we are going to write it as 0. Is that fine? Okay. Fine. Now let us concentrate on the second equation. So this is nothing but your second equation. Right? Okay. So 0 is already we have written over here. Fine. Okay. So I1 term is there. So minus J4 is there. Minus J4. What is I2 term? It is 4 plus J8. Am I right? Yes. And finally the last term is nothing but minus J4. Okay. And let us write now the coefficients of third equation. Okay. So it is not consisting of any I1 term. So write it as 0. I2 term is nothing but minus J4. Okay. And last term is nothing but 4 plus J8. Is that fine? And the column matrix is nothing but consisting of I1, I2 and finally I3. So this is nothing but a matrix form. Okay, fine. Now let us find out the determinant. Determinant is nothing but we are going to find out the determinant of this particular matrix. Okay, fine. So delta is nothing but the determinant of this particular matrix. Okay, so 4 plus J4 minus J4 0, then minus J4, 4 plus J8 minus J4 0 minus J4, 4 plus J8. Is it fine? Great. So let us find out the determinant of this one. Okay. I know you are well aware about how to find out the determinant, right? Okay. So 4 plus J4 into the bracket. Okay. So we are going to exclude this first row and first column, right? Okay. So 4 plus J8 minus J4 minus J4. Is it fine? Okay. And 4 plus J8. Great. Minus of, we used to write minus for the middle term. So minus of minus J4 into, what are the terms? Okay. So we are going to exclude first row and now second column. So these four elements will be there into the determinant, right? So minus J4, this will be minus J4 0, 4 plus J8, right? And as the last term is 0, so I am not going to write its determinant. Okay, so let it be as it is. Fine. Therefore 4 plus j4. Okay, now let us find out the determinant values. Okay, so let us multiply by these two. Okay, so they are going to get the bracket is nothing but it's a same bracket is there, so therefore let me write it as 4 plus j8, it's a bracket square. Is it right? Minus minus is going to become plus, right now we are multiplying these two values, so minus minus it is going to become plus, and again we need to write the minus for the second calculation, so therefore minus of this j square 16. Okay, so j square 16. Is that fine? Okay, this minus and this minus is going to become plus, so therefore let me write it as j4. Now into this bracket again, only this multiplication is possible because this multiplication is going to result to 0. Okay, so let me write it as minus j4 into 4 plus j8. Is that fine? Okay, great. Now let us simplify this again. Okay, so 4 plus, sorry, 4 plus j4. Now let us do the expansion of this bracket. 4 square is 16 plus 2 into j into 8, right, and plus j8 bracket square. Okay, now remember that j square is nothing but minus 1. Okay, so remember wherever there is a j square we are going to put it as minus 1, right? Okay, so this is going to become minus 1, minus 1 minus 1 is going to become plus, so therefore it is going to become plus 16. Is it fine? So I am doing directly. Okay, so just consider it directly. Fine. Okay, now j4 inside this bracket, let us multiply this bracket, multiply by minus j4 inside this bracket, right? Okay, so minus j4 into 4 is going to become j minus j into 16, right, minus, now j is going to become j square, 8 4s are 32, so it is going to become this, right? Okay, great. Is it fine? Okay, so is equals to, now let us simplify this again. 4 plus j4 into the bracket. Fine, now what is the value of this one? Okay, so value of this is going to become, sorry, 4 I forgot to write 4j as well, right? So it is 4 into 4 is also there, I forgot to write it, sorry. Okay, so 16 plus 2 into 4 is 8, 8 into 8 is 64, right? So j 64, this is going to become j square, right? J square is nothing but minus, so therefore minus 64, 8 square is nothing but 64. Okay, so therefore it is going to get added with 16, right? Okay, now let us do the multiplication inside this bracket. So j4 into 16 is minus j square, 16 fours are 64, right, minus j square is going to become now minus 1, so because of that this is going to become plus 32. Is that fine? Okay, okay, so let us simplify again. 4 plus j4 into this bracket. Okay, now 64, 16 and 16. Okay, so this is nothing but minus, and this is going to become plus 32, right? So j minus 32, the result of this is nothing but becoming minus 32 plus j 64. Am I right? Yes. Plus, what is going to happen with this? It is going to become plus. Okay, so plus 64, right? and this is going to have, sorry, I forgot to again write to mention multiply by j. Okay, over here that is wrong, right? So this is nothing but, let us say, 32 into minus, sorry, plus j4. Yes. Okay, so this is going to become minus minus is going to become plus 64. Okay, and now this is going to become plus j into 32 fours are, 32 fours are, let me calculate it. 32 into 4 is nothing but 128j. Is that fine? Okay, so this is going to be a result 128j. Is that fine? Let me cross check it. Okay, so let us cross check this again, once again. Okay, so j4 we have multiplied with this 16, so it is going to become 16 fours are 64, right? Okay, and j is going to become, j and j is going to become minus j square, right? So minus j square is correct one. Okay, so this one is correct. Okay, and this minus j square and this j square value is going to result to plus and multiplied with the j4. Okay, so I forgot to write j4. Okay, so that's why this j4 is coming over here, right? Okay, so after simplification, this 64. Okay, so this 64 and the constant values, this is nothing but 16, 64 and this 16, they must be added together in order to find out the resultant value. So therefore the 16 plus 16 is nothing but 32. So 32 subtracted from that particular 64, it is going to result to minus 32. Is that fine? Okay, great. Now let us simplify further. Finally, now we are going to multiply by 4 plus j4 inside this bracket. Is that fine? So let us multiply by 4 first. Minus 32 into 4. How much it will be? It will be 128 minus 128. Is that fine? Okay. Now plus j 64 into 4. Okay. So 64 into 4 is nothing but coming as 256. Is that fine? So 256. Right, now let us multiply by j4, so minus j into 128. Okay, so j4 we are going to multiply with 32, so as the 32 is having minus value, so minus sign is coming over here. Okay, so 32 fours are nothing but 128, right? So that's why we have written j 128 plus, now jj is going to become j square, isn't it? And 64 fours are again 256. Yes, so it is coming as 256. And finally the rest of the other values are nothing but this one, 64 plus j 128. Okay, fine, great. Now over here this is j square, no? So it is going to represent it as minus 1. Is that fine? Okay. Can I cancel out this 128 plus 128 with this minus 128? Yes, I can. Okay. So therefore, finally, I'll be getting minus 128 plus j 256. Okay. And now this is minus 256 plus 64. Okay. Now let us simplify this one. Let us add and subtract the values. Okay. So minus 128 minus 256 and plus 64. So it is coming as minus 320 minus 320 plus j 256. So this is the value of delta. Are you getting it? Now let us convert that delta in the form of r plus theta, r and theta. Okay, is that fine? Now let us convert this delta into r and theta. How to find it out? Okay, so r can be found out as, okay, I will be directly writing the values now. Okay, so r and theta I am going to write it directly. Okay, so you know the how to find out the value. Under root of minus 320, it's a square, plus 256 square, it is going to become Okay, it is giving you answer as R is equals to, R is coming as 409.79. Okay, let us calculate the angle, shift tan. So tan inverse of 256 divided by minus of 320. So minus 320. It is going to give you angle as minus 38. So angle is minus 38.65. Okay, so this is the value of angle. Okay, so this is nothing but your delta in terms of r and theta, that is coming as 409.79, and angle is minus 38.65. So remember this value. Okay, fine. Okay, now we are going to find out delta 1. Okay, so let us find out the delta 1. Delta 1 can be found out by simply replacing the first column, okay, by constant terms. Okay, so 20 angle 0. Okay, remember that we need to convert again this in terms of a plus jb form. Okay, fine. Right now we have r and theta for this particular 20 angle 0. Okay, so a can be calculated as r cos theta, right? That is r cos of 0. Cos of 0 is 1, that's why the value of a will be there. Sin of 0 is 0, that's why, so it is going to become 20. Okay, so b will be having value as 0. Okay, so that's why I haven't written angle as over here. Is that fine? Great. Then let me recall the terms. So recall the terms. Okay, so minus j4, 4 plus j8 minus j4, right? Minus j4, 0, minus j4, 4 plus j8. So all these terms as it is, we are not going to change those terms, right? So over here, this is nothing but your minus j4, this value is 0. Okay, this is 4 plus j8, am I right? Fine. Minus j4, this is also minus j4, and this is 4 plus j8. Is it fine? Great. Now let us find out determinant value. So 20, fine. Okay, now over here, this term already we have calculated. Okay, so let me write it once again over here. So 4 plus j8, right, minus j4 and 4 plus j8, minus of minus is going to become plus, so still I am going to write it as it is. Okay, now as these two terms are there, 0 0, the resultant answer is going to become 0. Okay, but still I am going to write it. Okay, and the last term is itself a 0, so multiplied with anything with 0 is going to result to 0, right? Okay, now concentrate on this one. We have already calculated this while calculating delta, right? Let us recall it. Okay, just pay attention over here. Already we have calculated this one. Yes, so this we have calculated, and this we have resulted as, what is the value? This is nothing but the value of that particular multiplication. Okay, so this is nothing but the simply value. Okay, so do not do the donkey work. Okay, so already we have calculated it, so that's why we need to use directly this value. Okay, so we are directly using this value. Is that fine? Into that particular, so remember the value, that is nothing but minus 32 plus j64. Is that fine? So over here we are going to use that value. Okay, fine. So for this we are going to use it, so it reduces our donkey work, and it reduces our time as well, right? So it is nothing but minus 32 plus j64. I hope that was the correct answer. Yes, let me recall it again. Yes, is it? Okay, so minus 32 plus j64. Yes, we have written the same. Okay, great. Now, okay, what about this? the multiplication is going to result to 0, so anything multiplied with 0 is going to become 0, isn't it? So therefore this value is also 0 and the last term is also 0. Okay, is that fine? Great. So 20 into 32, how much it will be? It will be minus 640. Am I right? So minus 640 plus, now what about this one? So it is going to become J 1280. Am I right? Yes. So this is the value of your delta 1. Are you getting it? So simply we have taken this value from delta calculation. So our calculation time has been reduced. Okay. So likewise we need to go for the smart work. Okay. Now, instead of doing a donkey work, you should go for you should have a smart work kind of attitude. Okay. Fine. So let us calculate again r and theta for this as well. Fine. So let me calculate it by means of a calculator. Right. Okay. So under root of 640 square plus 1280 square. This is results to 1431 1431.08, and let me calculate the angle. So shift tan, it is going to give me a tan inverse 1280 divided by minus of 640. Yes. Okay. So it is giving you minus 63.43. So this is the value of angle theta. Okay. And we have converted this delta 1 in terms of r and theta as 1431.08. Angle is minus of 63.43 degrees. Right? Okay, why we have calculated this? Because we need to find out I1. So let us find out I1. How we can find out I1? I1 is nothing but delta 1 divided by delta. Because why we are taking this as I1? Because we have replaced the first column, that is nothing but representing the values of your I1, right? So we have replaced this column by constant term, and that's why it is going to give you the I1 value. Okay, fine. So delta 1 was nothing but what? It is 1431.08, okay, minus 63.43 degree divided by, now recall the value that we have calculated for delta. So this is nothing but 409.79, angle is 38.65. So 409.79, and angle is minus 38.65. Okay, fine. Now we can directly do the division of the real terms. Okay, so we can directly do the division of these two values. Okay, so let me calculate it. 1431 divided by 1431.08. Let me calculate it precisely. Okay, so 1431.08 divided by 409.79. Okay, so after calculation it is going to result to 3.49. okay, and angle, so whenever we are going to divide the angles will be get subtracted. That means the denominator angle will be get subtracted from this. So minus minus is going to become plus, right? So from 63 the 38 will be subtracted, right? So 63 minus of 63.43 plus 38.65. okay, so it is coming as minus of 24.78. so therefore the value of I1 is coming as 3.49, angle is minus 24.78. this is the value of I1. okay, Great. Now similarly, what we are going to do, we are going to replace the second column for calculation of I2. Okay, so we are going to replace this column now. Is that fine? Great. So let us do that. Delta 2 is equals to, now the first column will be as it is, right? So 4 plus j4, I hope it was there. Then it was having minus j4 and the last term was 0. Okay, 20, 0 and 0. Why we have written the angle? Because a value, that is r cos theta, is coming as only 20, and b sin theta, that is r sin theta, is going to result to 0. So that's why we have written that. Okay, the first value, I3 value for the first equation was 0. It was having minus j4 and this was having 4 plus j8. Am I right? Okay, let us cross check the values. Okay, is it correct? 4 plus j4 minus j4, 0, and this is going to be replaced by constant values, that is nothing but this 20 angle 0 angle, we are not going to write it. So 20, 0, 0 likewise, and 0 minus j4, 4 plus j8. Okay, so 4 plus j8. Am I right? I hope all the values are correct. Okay, so now let us calculate again delta 2. Okay, how to calculate it? 4 plus j4, fine. Four elements will be these 4 elements over there. So as these two zeros are there, so it is going to become 0 definitely. Okay, so no need to go for the calculation for that. Minus 20. Okay, for minus 20 again, this 0 is there, so multiplication of this and this, it will be resulting. So let us write it again properly. 4 plus j8, and the last term itself is a 0, so no need to write it. Okay, so this first term is going to result to 0, and anything multiplied with a 0 is nothing but becoming 0, right? Minus 20. Now concentrate on this one. Okay, now we have already calculated this as well while calculating our delta, right? So let us concentrate on that delta. What was the value that we have calculated? Okay, okay, so this is nothing but your the value, right? Okay, so over here we have found out this value. Okay, so this is the value, minus 16j minus j square. Let us say this is plus 32. Is that fine? Okay, so minus 16 minus j16 plus 32. Can I write it? Yes. So let us take this. So this is nothing but minus j16, okay, plus 32. I hope it has reduced a lot of time of your calculation, right? Okay, so let us do the multiplication inside this bracket. So minus 20 minus j16, it is going to become plus, right? So j 16 into 2, 320, right? 16 into 20 is nothing but 320, and minus 32 into 20 is nothing but minus 640. Am I right? Okay, I hope it is visible properly. Yes. Okay, let me change the color. Okay, so delta is nothing but delta 2 actually. So delta 2 is nothing but minus 640 plus j 320. Is that fine? Now let us calculate again r and theta for this delta. Okay, so r and theta for that is coming as, let me calculate it, under root of minus 640 plus 320 square. Okay, it is coming as 715. Okay, so r is coming as 715.54. Let us calculate angle. Tan inverse 320 divided by minus 640. Am I right? So it is coming as 26.56 minus 26.56 is the value of angle. Is that fine? So this is nothing but delta 2. So delta 2 in terms of r and theta is coming as 715.54, angle is minus 26.56. Is this right? Okay. Now again recall the value of delta 1. So what is the delta 1? Okay, over here from this you can, sorry, delta, I'm not going to talk about delta 1. Delta, we are going to divide it by delta. So 409.79 angle minus 38.65. Okay, so we are going to use it same over here in order to calculate I2. So I2 can be calculated as delta 2 divided by delta. This is nothing but by Cramer's rule. Okay, so delta 2 is nothing but having value as 715.54, angle is minus 26.56. Am I right? Divided by 409.79, and angle was minus 38 point something. Let me calculate, check it. It was 65, I think. Yes, it is there. So 409.79 divided angle is minus 38.65. Okay, great. So let us find out the values. Okay, directly divide 715 by 409 point, sorry, I forgot to take again the decimal values. So 715.54 divided by 409.79. So it is coming as 1.74. So I2 is coming as 1.746, and the angle, now this angle is going to get into the numerator and it is going to become minus value. Okay, so minus of minus is going to become plus. So therefore minus 26.56 added with 38.65. So it is coming as plus 12.09. Okay, so 12.09 is the value of angle, and this is nothing but your I2 value. Hope it is very easy, right? Okay, now let us calculate delta 3. Fine. So delta 3, how to find out delta 3? By simply replacing the last column by, let us say, 20, 0, and 0. Is that fine? Okay, so 4 plus J4, this was minus J4, this was 4 plus JA, right? This was minus J4, this was 0 minus J4, right? Great. Let us find it out. So 4 plus J4 into the bracket. Now determinant is nothing but minus J4, 0, 0, and 0. Okay, minus of minus J4 is going to become plus J4. So let me write it directly. Okay, into the bracket. Determinant is nothing but what? Sorry, this is wrong. This is wrong. Sorry. First row and first column we should exclude, right? So these are the four elements. 4 plus J8 minus J4, 0, 0, right? Minus of J4, minus minus is going to become plus, right? Okay, and we are going to exclude this column, right? So minus J4, 0, 0, 0, right? Minus J4, 0, 0, 0, plus 20. Now this is the term. Okay, minus J4, 4 plus J8, 0 minus J4. Now this term we haven't calculated in the delta, okay, because it was multiplied with 0, so that's why we haven't calculated this. So we need to calculate it. Okay, but now focus on this. This is going to become 0, this multiplication is resulting to 0, anything multiplied with 0 is going to become 0, right? This is 0, this is 0, so anything multiplied with 0 is 0, right? Only we need to calculate this. Okay, so 20 into the bracket. Now minus j minus minus is going to become plus j square 16, and this is going to become 0, isn't it? Okay, so j square 16, that's it, right? So it is going to become, okay, so this is now going to become, have the value j square is nothing but, what is value j square? J square is minus 1. Okay, so minus 16 into 20, how much it will be? Minus 320. Am I right? Is that fine? Minus 16 into 20, how much it will be? It will be definitely 320. No, minus 16 into 20, it is going to become minus 320. That's it. So this is the value of delta 3. Okay. Now let us calculate I3 from this. Okay, so I3 can be calculated as I3 is delta 3 divided by delta. Am I right? Okay, so what is delta 3? Delta 3 is directly having value, only real term value is there. Okay, as there is no angle, that means it indicates 0. Is that fine? So let me write it as in angle 0, right? Divided by 409.79, and angle was minus 38.65. Okay, fine. So directly do the division of real terms. So it is coming as, I3 is coming as minus 0.7808. Okay, and angle will be, once it is going to go to the numerator side, it is going to become plus, so 38.65 is the value of angle. Are you getting it? So likewise you can apply mesh analysis to this kind of a little bit complex example, and you can find out the value of current I1, I2 and I3. Okay, is it fine? Great.